Hey, Q here, and I'm really excited to share with you some awesome progress that Michael has made with his swing. So, Michael works with me in the online swing reviews program, and he came to me wanting to work on getting rid of his early extension here. So, a way that you can check your swing to see if you have early extension is you can draw a vertical line like I have here that's just in contact with your backside at address. And if you watch throughout the swing, what you're going to see here at the top of the swing, you're going to see how he's still maintaining contact with that line, which is really good. That's what you're going to see in the best players. But if you watch here in the start of the downswing, that's where you're going to start to see those hips move away from that line. And when you look at the better players, they're going to maintain contact with that line all the way to contact. And the reason why this is an issue is when your hips move this way, your upper body is going to move this way, right? It's going to move up and away from the ball. When your upper body moves up and away from the ball, you're going to tend to release the club earlier. And when you release the club earlier, you're going to add loft and you're going to hit higher and weaker shots. If you're able to stay in your posture, you are going to be able to compress the ball more, hit more penetrating ball flight, and probably hit the ball farther as well. Also, you're going to take better divots, right? When you stay in your posture, you're going to be taking more square-like divots because the club's going to be coming in flush to the ground. When you come up out of your posture, and you may be able to see this as he's coming into contact, you can see how that club is more toe down, right? So when the toe is down like that, it's going to make it more difficult to make solid contact as well because it raises the sweet spot, right? It raises the sweet spot away from the ground, which is going to tend to lend to thin or chunk kind of shots. So lots of benefits to staying in your posture. So I was really excited to work on this with Michael. So this is the drill that we worked on. This is this stick drill where you put a stick in the ground. We're using this swing plate here. You don't have to have a swing plate for this, but in Michael's case, you can see here he's working off of a mat that's on like brick pavers, so he can't exactly put a stick in the ground. So this swing plate here is a really great tool to be able to use, and there's a lot of drills you can do with it. So if you're interested in getting a swing plate, you can pick one up on our website. If you go to the resources tab, you can find the link where you can pick one up there. But like I said, it's not a requirement for this. So where you position this is you're going to position this where it's going to be going where the stick kind of meets the ground. It's going to be going into the ground about 6 inches outside of the ball and then about 2 feet behind the ball. So you can see that's where it's situated here. And then you want to have it angled at the lie angle of the club. So the lie angle of the club is this angle right here. So between the ground and the shaft, when the sole of that club is flush to the ground, that's this angle right here. So just for reference, like a 6-iron is 60 degrees. A wedge is going to be a little bit more upright, whereas like your 3-iron is going to be a little bit flatter. But what's also cool about the swing plate is it has the degrees on there. So if you know the lie angle of your club, you can just set the degree on there and be good to go. So Michael worked on this drill where he had to get the club and his hands to work underneath there. So if you imagine if he was making the same swing that he's making on the left here, and he was making that swing with the alignment stick there and the pool noodle covering it, right? If he did that, his arms will be coming in and hitting that because if you watch here, when the hips move toward the ball, right, the arms are going to move toward the ball, right, and you're gonna make contact right here if you have that there. So we started out with some slower swings, trying to get that to work in here, and the emphasis was to get his hips flexing in the start of the downswing, right? So for those of you who aren't familiar with what that means is essentially in the start of the downswing, if you think about the angle between your spine and your legs, right? That's this angle right here. If I'm flexing my hips in the start of the downswing, I'm going to be making that angle smaller. If I'm extending my hips in the start of the downswing, that angle is going to be bigger. And if you look here in the before swing, that angle just gets bigger right away, right? He's almost a straight line between his hips and his legs as he's coming in. So we really focused on flexing those hips in the start of the downswing. If you watch here, gets up to the top, just like in the other one, you're going to see how, we'll take him over here, just like in the other one, you're going to see how his hips are on there really, really nicely. But if you watch in the start of the downswing, look at the difference here. I'll try to link these together, and we'll look at the difference. See how the hips flex in the start of the downswing, whereas before they were tucking under. So now you can see how he's maintaining contact with that line, and he's staying in his posture much, much better. And if you watch as he's coming into contact here, you're going to see how his body is much more in posture here. You can see how he's much more angled down toward the ground, where he's much more upright over here. So this is gonna, again, it's gonna lend to a later release. He's gonna get more compressed shots. He's gonna get more solid contact because his club is gonna be more flush to the ground as it's coming through contact. And it's just gonna help out Michael's game quite a bit. So he has some work to do. He needs to put the reps in to make this second nature. So that way he doesn't even have to think about it. He just does it all the time automatically. But Michael's done a really, really great job to this point to get to where he's able to do the motion really, really well. And you can see the big difference there between, you know, his backside and that line, you know, as he's coming into contact there. Really, really big difference there. You can see how, you know, his backside here is on just barely off that line. Then over here you can see there's, you know, 3 or 4 inches of space between his hip and that line. So really, really great job by Michael here. So as I mentioned, this is one of my favorite drills for staying in your posture and helping to shallow out the club. There are some other really good ones as well. One that I really like is the wall drill. So if you want to check out the wall drill, I'm going to put a video here up in the corner. You can click that link and Clay's going to walk you through that wall drill. It's another great drill to help you stay in your posture. Hope you're playing well, and I'll talk to you next time.